Okay, I got the gazebo unboxed. It's a Hampton Chelsea Point gazebo. Let me show you what it entails. Did it myself. So it took 30 minutes to unbox it. Got various pieces of aluminum. Be very careful. This stuff is sharp in the sense that it'll scratch your aluminum on the ends. Got some kind of frame. Little elbows, a bunch of triangular pieces. Another frame. Long, short, medium, thick. I think those are the legs over there. And a box full of parts. And here's a box full of parts that came with it too. Quite a few. Each of these parts has a little tag. A little round circle tag with a letter. But I went ahead and labeled all the pieces of plastic and put them in alphabetic order somewhat. Because I just know I'll open something up and have to take it apart. I messed up. See the G? And the little white tag will fall off. So I don't want to mess with that. I got these sheets. There's two different kinds. There's M and this one and M1. And the big one, LL1. One thing that was a little surprising when I was moving around. These things are really hot in the Texas sun. It's about 85 degrees today in March 2022. So I don't know if it's because of the plastic or it's just that it's a dark aluminum, but they were really hot. That's hot to touch right there. I can't leave my hand on it. Okay, I have my work area set up. I got a little garbage can for all the plastic. First step is to take the big post, put part K, slide it up and attach it, then slide K1 up, attach the bottom O, and then slide K1 down. So I got a little magnetic thing to hold the screws. Put the first bolt in. Here's K, what it looks like. This is K1. It's got holes in the bottom. It just slides. And then this is O. It's going to map up with those two holes here. Attach into here. Okay, I got it assembled. First one. And I think what's going to happen, this is the bottom, and there's some screws. Maybe tied into a foundation and a nut head, and that goes over this hole. It's going to slide right over it like that. It's not mounted. Here we go. Just like that. I'm all four built. Okay, those are the four corners. And these things slide down. Okay, we finished steps 1 and 2. Got the mid plate on, the foot base, and the decorative part. Screwed them in. 2 screws here, 2 screws here. Now we're going to go to step 3, which is getting parts B and B1. Remember they're labeled. Get this bracket P and put 4 of those little bolts in there into those 2 holes. Hold this A-frame together, and then get some FF bolts and GG nuts and put some sideways strength into it. They have some new parts. This is a screw and nut head that are going to go through here and hold this together here and up here. And then we have these plates, P. Thought they went on the outside, but they slide on the inside. And they're about as thick as that hole is. You can just line the holes up and screw it in there and slide this one on and screw it in. Also with the BB bolts. This is FF and GG. I have one finished. Let's do the other 3. that's number 4. Okay, I've got the 4 posts over here. I've got these 4 A-frames bolted together. And the next step is to attach the post to the cross beams, A-frames cross beams, using AA bolts and washers. Okay. I'll put the washer over the first hole and put this bolt in next, and then do the outside one. Yep, so I just move the washer. And that's what they look like. Starting to get a little dark. I finished step 4, and I got 2 frames. We have a storm coming through tomorrow, so I may just leave them on the ground. I'm gonna have to tie some of this stuff up so it doesn't blow away. You may know in Central Texas we had 5 tornadoes a week ago. It didn't hit us though, but hit a lot of other people. Okay, tomorrow we'll work on step 5. Okay, I'm trying to see if I can build this gazebo in one person. So the question is, how do I get these 2 A-frame pieces connected to these side pieces and the other A-frame over here? And they have to be held up. So I easily can get people to help me hold them up, and then have someone hold this up while I hold this other one up top and tack it in. I decided to get my little winch, lift the thing up at an angle. I had a ladder here, and once I got one of these screwed in appropriately, it was easy to just move this up and down to get the other one screwed in correctly. So I'm going to try it over on the other side. So, see the holes here? You can tell, again, this little thing keeps you from putting the wrong side in. Once you get one hole attached, then you can just teeter the other side A-frame to line up. When you're deciding which way to face these, this is the bigger hole, so you're going to drill in through here, and on this side is a smaller hole that goes toward smaller threaded holes right here. You see, this hole right here is lined up, the other ones aren't. It's just laying on the ground. So once I get that, I can just kick that leg out some, or pull that leg forward and back to line the rest of them up. There you go, I got the first one in. You can see the gap here. Now I'll just make adjustments. I can almost get this second one in, but I'll pull this down just a little bit, and it should level that up a little more. Still got a ways to go, but I'm gonna get this top one in now. There you go, I got the first one in. You can see the gap here. Now I'll just make adjustments. I can almost get this second one in, but I'll pull this down just a little bit, and it should level that up a little more. Still got a ways to go, but I'm gonna get this top one in now. There's one annoying thing so far in this build is these AA bolts, a little Allen wrench on the X end, X key. They have a washer that goes on here. And when I was putting the first A-frames on the legs, I tipped it over like that. And of course the washer fell off. It's magnetized now because it's sitting here. So far I lost 3 washers into the grass. I hope they gave me extras. And I did take some of them. I put a little dab of like glue caulk on there, just so that when I was holding it to get into the hole, it wouldn't fall off. Now, I lost 1 when I was drilling downward and 2 on these side posts. So, there you go. Okay, I got the 2 sides on. I think I'm beyond the single person limit because somehow I have to get this upright here, both sides on this end, and slide in this whole other piece here. And I think I can pull it up right. It kind of wants to bend right here. My thought was to try to get this up and lean it on top of the ladder and then get the other A-frame support over here and bring it over and slide it up. But it's not that firm a connection when it's not screwed, and I'm afraid it's going to slip. So I'm probably going to have a couple people come lift on these ends or whatever, and we'll try to get it up in the air, and I'll slide this other frame underneath here and bolt it together. I do have an idea of how to move this on the lawn to put it back in the spot, which is way over there. I hope it works. Okay, attaching support bars C to post A. And these cross beams with M16 finish, step 6. This is going to fit here. Got one hole here, 2 holes on the bottom. Go into those holes pretty easily. I am using this battery powered drill now. I am going back with a hand Allen wrench. It has a little bit more. So in this inside one I had to use a little small hand Allen wrench. I couldn't get anything else to fit in here correctly. I don't have a drilled 90-degree bit. I have all the 8 supporting brackets in. That was easy. It does square up the frame a bit nicer. Probably should have put them in before we drag this thing across the yard. Step 7. Insert the corner protector. Insert the 4 corner protectors according to the following diagram. So there's some kind of corner brackets that slide inside of here. Can't really tell exactly what it's doing, but when we get up there we'll see. N. 4 corner brackets. Protectors. Here's N corner bracket. It's got 1 hole in the bottom, 2 in the top. Looks like it fits over this post and these 2 posts. Adds a little more support. There we go. They don't screw in or anything. I think something's going to come on top of here and hold that down. Okay, got the corner brackets in. Step 8 is to take piece D1 and D2. This is D1, and these long ones, I'm sorry, D1 and D. Long ones are D, and put this little W connector in and screw them. And if you look at part D, it has 2 holes here, which line up with that. And this metal silver thing has the threads in it. That's going to go in there, and this has, the D1 piece has 2 holes. There's a lot of holes in these. Most of them are threaded. These are just plain holes. So that's going to slide on here. It's going to pull back through here. We're going to put 4 screws in here. And that's put together. See the 4 screws holding that metal. Let's do the other 3. Okay. We connected D and D1 together with W and number 8. Step 9, we're going to put these on the top of the gazebo from the middle down and connect them with BB screws. And we'll look up what J1 is. I don't know. Okay, J1 is this piece. Looks like it allows 4 or 6 things to come up. I'm not sure, but apparently that's gonna, J1 is up here, attached with BB, and then I don't think we attached D yet. It's just gonna sit up there. We're gonna attach, oh yeah, we're gonna screw in J1 to the bottom of D, and then it's just gonna sit on here for now. Okay, this is J1 and it has double sets of holes, but they only fit one set, so that doesn't fit, but that fits. Okay, and so this is gonna, this is the top outside, so this is gonna go onto here at an angle. So I'm just gonna tip it over and put it on like this and screw those in. Okay, I got 2 on, and when I tip this over, there's a little peg. That's going to go up here. There's a little peg hole somewhere up here. It's going to fit. So I'm going to try to take this, turn it over, and get it into these 2 corners. I got the 4-way up. I put 2 sides up first. I put this end up on the ladder, and I put the other 2 sides up. Let me show you what it looks like where it attaches. You can see there's this little pin coming down out of here. I'm sorry, it's a hole here. No, it's a pin here, and it goes into a hole here. And then I'm gonna get ready, I think, put a bracket on right here that holds these 2 together. We'll pull that down. It wasn't too hard getting it up. You do need a tall ladder. Once you get 2 up, put these 2 up, then put a tall ladder underneath the middle, and then you just screw the rest in. There's a U bracket. Let's just tighten this down. I should pull this down tightly into. Okay, I didn't close the gap all the way. I wonder if there's a longer side and shorter side. I didn't even look. I think that's all it is. Now we're in step 11. We're going to attach these cross beams out to the peak. They're piece E. Attached to J1 with some BB screws, and then attach them out here with some connector S with BB screws. Okay, you see this piece E. It's symmetric on one side in the sense that the holes are all spaced evenly, but on this side they're not. You have double holes here and lengthwise double holes. If you look up here, I'm going to need the lengthwise double holes. Okay, I attach these horizontals that go to the peaks. These 2 screws easy enough. Just lay them on the peak, line these up and put them in. Okay, this is the S connector. It's going to go to these 2 holes and then up to the top there. Hope you can see that. hole here and 2 holes here. Okay, and that's it. Let's go do the other 3. You can see the parts list is going down. Next step is 12, attaching I and I1 to both the B1 frames and to the E frames I just put up. And apparently some connectors, T and V, to use. Okay, I've got a piece I1, and I'm going to alternate I1 and I on that side. And this is a little groove. This fits in. And there's a little three-hole bracket. It's going to hold that one in, and this is going to come over here. And then there's an under bracket here. You can see that. I'll take a picture, and it's going to hold that on there. And this will have to be flush with the main rails. This will be flush with the main rails because the roof's going to go on here. I'll put this side on first. So I got that 3-way bracket here, and then I went ahead and put the other bracket over here. And if you can see that. Okay, I have one assembled, goes from here, and it goes straight back. So this one I pre-assembled on the ground. I'll put the little bracket here. I put the flat bracket here. I don't know which one's T or V. And I also put one over there. And I just set it in place. It allows me just to tack it all in. I think it's going to save time. I finished step 12, adding the T and V brackets and putting in all these cross struts. It does help if you pre-assemble them. This strut and this strut. There's a bracket there and a bracket there. In any case, it's a lot more solid now and a bit heavier. Step 13 is attaching the H and H1 supports. That's the supports on the outside edge. You screw here, and there's a little pin situation down here. I have the first H1 and H on. Let me show you an easy way to do it by yourself. Is to come up here on a ladder and then put it on top of this little lip here and screw that one in. Then you may have to come in here and give it a swack to get it to fit over here, because everything is lining up as you do it. And then when you screw this in, screw that one in, at the bottom there's a hole on the existing pipe, and there's a little tab on here. You're just going to swack it to make sure it fits in that hole. So put this one on first. It balances it, and come get these 2. There's one here, one on the bottom, and one in the back here. Okay, right here, if you can see it. You have to come up from the bottom first. Raise it up some. Drop that one. And on the end here, he's going to come over here and just sort of Just whack it in there. It fits in that hole. I'll have the H and H1 bars put in. I will correct myself. I told you earlier which screw to put in first. You have one here and two here, and then you have the peg here. I suggest you put in what's the most misaligned. This one went up right away. This one I had, both of these corners, I had to put the peg in the side first before I can get anything else, because it just would not have any room left. So I put the peg in the middle and then the top. You'll get good at it as you keep going. Okay. Okay, it's been a couple days. I had to do other things. Now I'm back to finishing this. I'm going to put step number 14, the M and M1 plates in this valley, and it gets attached with one of these EE screws, and there's a little plastic spacer that goes under the aluminum sheeting and between the the I1 strut, and then there's a little screw going in the back. What this doesn't say is tighten them down. In the next step, I'm going to put something over the middle, and I'll show you there's a little play here, so I'm not sure if I should tighten them down yet or not. But anyway, once I figured out how to orient these, they went up real easily, and I'm going to show you. You see I already have 3 sections up, and the 4th one. Get your 8-foot ladder and just position it back behind one side of these V's, and you can do both sides of the sheeting, and you can kind of see the orientation they go. The big ridge on the sheeting is at this end. There's like a U-shaped ridge. The top and the valley are sort of the edge of the metal itself, the raw cut edge, but there's a U-shaped here. Took me a second to figure that out. Okay, I have the sheeting laying in place. It's laying on the top of this ridge in the valley, this ridge, and you see there's 2 holes here. Well, they connect to those 2 holes right here. You can see them. And you're going to put the bolt through here, and underneath the bolt and between this bar, put that little plastic or rubber wedge thing, and then a nut on the bottom. Okay, I have the last pair up, and you can see I have not tightened them down, but there's lots of play, and I'm not sure what position yet I'm going to tighten them, so I'm going to hold off on tightening them. And I know something's going to come on top of this, so we'll see. Next step, step 15, attach piece F here with DD bolts. Look like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 per. That's these bolts right here. DD. Okay, when we put this piece on, looks like a T. The bottom part goes in like this. It goes between these. And that's going to tell us how these side pieces here have to be spaced. But you do want them, make sure they're up on this ridge down here. I had one that, the first one I did was hanging below. I had to pull it apart. So see that ridge right there? It has to be on top of it. Right there. And then this is sort of force it in there, and then it goes up to this hole right here. Now, maybe the instructions should be different. I have to get on my top of my ladder to reach that hole up there and put my hand on the roofing to balance myself. If I would have, I guess I would have done it on the very last one anyway, but It was stable. I did it on this side already. Okay, let's put it together. Okay, I have it up here. The water's going to come down. It'll either flow on the top of this or it goes down into here and eventually flows out the end down there. Got a little scratch here. I'm going to figure out what color paint I'm going to get. I'm going to tape it off and put some paint on here. I may even use a little brush paint if I can find. Kind of looks like aged bronze or something. Yeah, I misread the instructions. On 14 you put M and M1 on, and then you put the slat, which I thought made sense, and then you repeat. I went ahead and put all 4 on, so when I put the F slats on I had to lean over to do it. But in any case, I got them on. So finish 16, now on to 17. Attach to roof border covers. Attach to 4 roof border covers G. Must be up here. To the frame using CC bolts. CC is right here. Looks like it takes 3 per, maybe. Let's go find where the G's are. Okay, this G plate. This goes on the top. And I think as I screw it in, these holes, it's going to have a leveling effect on these top ridges right here. Put them in place exactly where they need to be. And I'm going to have to reach over to get to that other one. Okay. I think we have about a half hour of assembly time left. And next step is to attach this plate J. Where is it? Right here. Goes up here in the top. We'll see how it looks. And I'm going to use Volt CC. Okay, I got all the M1 bars on here. It aligned everything a little tighter. And then this thing's going to lay right on top. I'm going to have to go underneath here and get that screw from the bottom. Hopefully I don't have to have 2 ladders, one on top, one on bottom to get it lined. We'll see. But everything is sort of designed to shield the water away in a direction. If you spray up into here, water's going to leak through. Or actually it'll go into that trough, I guess. I'm not sure. But it's not perfectly watertight. It's just shedding the water like a roof. I'm interested to see when we get a good rain how it performs. Okay, let's put this J1 cap on. Okay, there's the hole in the bottom of the center. And this has to go up, come down, and I'm going to screw the hole to that little bottom right there. So I got to climb up there and put this on the top. Okay, step 19, 20, and 21. Now we're going to attach the big roof plates like we did the small ones. The same EE screw, little plastic spacer, and the GG nut. And then we're going to attach to LL1, that's the roof plates, to the supports using plastic washers X. Okay, I guess we have several. We have to do some up here in the middle, and then the ones on the outside. And then 21 is repeated for the rest of them. And then we'll put the roof borders in like we did on the M1 plates. Not sure if I misspoke a little while. So it looks like there's 3 or 4 of these. In any case, it's based on the number of holes. So it looks like 3. And then after those go in, then we have 1, 2 on each side of the DD bolts that go directly into the frame. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3 here. 3 on each side and 3 on that side, so 6 total. Okay, well the instructions weren't perfectly clear, but I had to take this out because this side overlaps this panel, and which means reaching underneath on the ladder to get those plastic spacers in place. I could do these two, I could get them all in place. I slid the plastic spacer from underneath in place, and I started screwing till I figured to screw in all the way down the hole. I got the nut attached. I got these two tightened up, but I can't reach this one from here, so I'm going to try to get it from the side to tighten it, hold the nut on the bottom. And I also had to loosen this ridge cap to make this go on top of this. So this must have to be slid out some, or it's right there, but I need to tighten this down. It seems like this, I guess it's on top of these. Maybe that's where it goes. Yeah, so that's what I did. Okay, I got all the EE bolts. It was easy to reach several of them from this side. Could go all the way to here. So I did these two from over here. Oh, I gotta tighten this one up. And those three I did from this side over here. So now I'm gonna put the DD bolts in here. Looks like there's 4 of them. You can see that hole is a threaded hole. There's no hole on the bottom down here. Okay, all of these screws are going at an angle and they won't go in. So I'm going to have to loosen these screws up across the middle so that I can get some more play in this sheet. And I can try to force it straight, but it's still, I can force it in this direction, but it won't go in this direction. So it's binding. So maybe I shouldn't have tightened it up there, but I wanted to tighten it up while I was up there, otherwise I had to move the ladder again. On these last panels, this is why you need to leave most of them loose till you get them all in. You can see this very corner. Everything else has a screw in it. It's not fully straight, so it makes putting that screw in a little difficult. Hopefully it'll go in at an angle. Okay, we got all those covers down. I need to go back up and tighten the screws, and then the next step is to, number 22, attach the roof border covers F1 in this little valley using DD bolts. Let's do it. Okay, this is not symmetric to the other end. This end is longer, and it also has an overhang. This end is flush. So now I don't know if that means that piece has the same thing and the overhang should be at this end versus up at the top, so that this can go underneath it. It seems like something should go underneath this. In that case, it's going to make me have to climb up here somehow and reverse that, which means take this off, get it underneath the cap up there. And then I'm going to jump ahead and see what this end is supposed to look like if the cap fits underneath it. I mean, this would make the water go off. Yeah, so I'm not sure. If I jump ahead a couple steps, these are the corner protectors Q. They have 2 holes that goes on the end and on the bottom, which means it's going to come up. So whatever attaches here will be flush, but I don't think it comes up that high. We'll take a look and see what happens. Okay, I have the final ridge vent in, and it overlaps that. Seems like it should go under it, but in any case, I tighten the other ones down. 1 down, 3 to go. And then after you have that end cap, start it, pop it up, and you'll be able to get this hole in. Once you get that hole tightened, it'll loosen up for you to tighten this hole back down here again. And you notice that G1 is shorter here and longer here, so it's only going to go in one direction when I get up there. Finally, that was super easy. 3 screws and then the end cap went in easily. All good. Let me repeat that 3 times and I'm finished, except for tightening up some screws. Okay, we finished 25, 23, 24. The last step, 26, you put these pins in the bottom. It doesn't really say anything. I don't know if people are sticking them in concrete or in the dirt. I plan on using, for now, leftover bricks from the house. I've got some like 1 by 2 foot by 4 inch, just to hold the corners down for now. We find this final resting place. Yeah, there you go. If it's scratched, you may want to paint it. Mild detergent solution with water. I'm going to rinse it off now before I show you the final product. And I'll be calling Hampton Bay tomorrow to try to get a few screws that I stripped out. The DD screws in particular, and then I'm missing a couple CC screws.